Is that a beautiful intro? Jeff and Casey, I tell you, big time. They'll be with Bill Riley. Will be on their own. They're marvelously talented, gifted.
You're very lucky.
And sweet, just sweet inside, lovely. And some people you pass in your lifetime that make an impression. These guys make an impression, along with Russ, who lives right near you.
Absolutely.
And Rosaline and Kathleen. Now, you are Secretary of the Interior. I love it. You're an interior decorator.
I am.
And I said to you, how'd you get that name?
It just popped into my head years before I even decided I was going to go to school to be an interior decorator, and then after I graduated, I opened my own business.
Now, you could have floored me. You go to school to be an interior decorator?
Yes, I went to Massasoit Community College, and I
There's a course?
There's a series of courses. I did an accelerated program in 1 year, and the teacher told me I had a lot of talent, and she was the lead designer at Jordan's Furniture in
so?
Avon. So I asked her if I could intern with her for a short amount of time. So Barry and Elliot was still in charge of the store at that time, and she asked their permission, and they said sure.
I heard they were great guys.
Oh, the whole company is very nice to work for. So she would take me out to meet clients, and I would hold the end of the tape measure. And
so she was, you would buy the furniture, and she was going to...
She would go to clients' homes and measure and make suggestions on what furniture to choose and what fabrics and what colors. And
I didn't even know they had that service.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Do they charge you extra, or you buy the furniture from them?
It's included with the furniture.
How marvelous. Did you learn a lot with her?
I did, and I learned that I wanted to do it all on my own, so I own my own company now.
Does anybody work for you, or is it just you?
No, just me, but I mean, I have a handyman, and I can recommend painters and carpenters.
Can you?
And sure.
So you have a whole litany of people.
They're colleagues. They don't work with me.
But they are colleagues.
Right, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you came in my house, it needs a lot of things, but I'm modern. What if the next person is not modern? What? What else would you be?
People ask me that a lot. What is my style? My style doesn't matter. I have to make a client's dreams a reality.
Yes.
I go in and I ask a lot of questions. I ask about your lifestyle, how many people live in the house, how many people do you want to seat at a dinner party. So I have to ask a lot of questions. I have to listen to their answers. I have to consider their budget, their timeline, and then I go in and make suggestions.
Now, okay, so I tell you what my budget is. Sometimes I have a big budget, sometimes a little budget. And you don't have to quote money, but prices included with not what I buy, but for your expertise, right?
Yes, I charge per hour.
Okay. So if I said to you, Barbara, would you please come in and tell me what you think I need? You charge me for the time you spent there.
Right.
Then how do I get the things I want to innovate, that you say, yes, I think this is good?
Well, many times I'll take the client shopping.
Oh, how lovely.
Or I'll do some online research for them and give them different options. Sometimes I take them next door to Jackson Square Paint to choose paint colors. I take them shopping. I do sewing for them. I might
You can sew?
I can sew. I made this quilt.
Now look at this quilt. Can we get this quilt? This quilt, it hangs, right?
This is a quilted wall hanging.
I said to you, what is this? Because I love the colors that will go with anything you have in your house. I'm thinking to myself, where can I put that? Where can I put that? Now, how did you make that?
I did. It's called a stained glass quilt. It's a pattern called Forest Cathedral. Can you see the trees, the birch trees and the black trees?
You know, now that you pointed out, those are trees. There's a birch tree that's white and the black trees.
Right, yeah.
Are the leaves the colors?
It's more like a stained glass. The fabrics are what they call batik. So that looks like, it's called a stained glass quilt.
So what's it holding on? What's the backing like? You buy a backing?
Actually, the black fabric is the background, so it's like the leading in a stained glass.
Okay.
And the way the fabric is adhered, it's with what they call fusible webbing. So you iron on something to the back of the fabric, and you iron it on according to the pattern. It took me about 60 hours to make that quilt.
60 hours. And then you put a weight on it and you hang it up.
Yeah, I just put a rod pocket in the back, just like you were hanging a pair of drapes or something.
And you could do anything, any color if you want. If I said I only want a pink, black, and white, you could do anything.
Oh, yes, yes. I do bed quilts. I've won blue ribbons for my quilts at the Marshfield Fair.
You make them? And they're heavy. They're quilts that...
Yeah, quilts for your bed.
Yes. aren't you a talented woman?
Thank you.
Now,
I grew up sewing. My grandmothers were very crafty. And
I can barely sew my butt.
My grandmothers taught me how to sew and do crafts and things like that. And
you have a passion for it.
I really do. I love to sew. Right
What
now,
is your house like, Barbara?
I have a 1920s bungalow.
A 1920s bungalow. Bungalow's not too big, is it?
No, it's rather small. It's less than 1,500 square feet in the living space. But that's another challenge. You know, a good decorator knows how to decorate a small space, a large space, knows how to make a small space look larger. So there are lots of different tricks. Absolutely.
When you go to somebody's home, do you look at the husband and wife or see them as a couple or get a feel for them?
Sometimes an interior decorator is a marriage counselor.
Uh-huh. Isn't that interesting?
One of my first clients here in Weymouth, she invited me to her home, and she took me immediately to the backyard because she and her husband were at odds about what color brick to choose for their outdoor patio. And I was new in the business at the time, so I didn't say anything, but in my head I'm thinking, I'm an interior decorator, but I can give her advice on the backyard because the same principles, you know, fall into play. So, and I didn't ask her what she wanted versus what her husband wanted. I just saw the two choices. But like I said, I went in and I asked a lot of questions. Have you purchased your furniture yet? Do you have certain color cushions that you want to incorporate? All these questions that I asked her. Well, I ended up choosing the husband's color, and he wasn't home at the time.
Did she ever talk to you again?
But I incorporated her color in the border of the patio and told her to pick up that color in the seat cushions on her fabric, on her outdoor furniture. And she was very pleased, and she said, "You passed the test. Now come inside and you can do my interior decorating."
Isn't that something? Yeah. That was a really big challenge.
Yeah.
But it was true, I bet. And did that come to be?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then when I went indoors, she had recently done over her kitchen and dining room in a Tuscan theme, but she didn't know how to pull it all together. So I sewed some table linens for her, and I made a large floral arrangement for her to pull her dining room together, and arranged some of her collections in a china cabinet, and she was very pleased.
All right, speaking of floral decorations, I said to you, it just so happens I have a vase, or a vase, that has those flowers in it. What are those flowers called?
Calla lilies.
Okay, and one of them, the calla lily, is a little worn, but you said Michael's, you've got these flowers. This vase is adorable.
Isn't it pretty?
Tell the story of what the woman said to you and when you showed it at a show.
I was at a show once showcasing my talents, and I had that as a display, and a woman came up to me and she whispered, "That reminds me, I have to sign up for a mammogram. I need to make an appointment for a mammogram."
I think it's absolutely marvelous. I think that vase. Now, do you go out and buy that vase for somebody, or?
Yes, depending on what their styles are, what size vase they need, what color. I can go out to like Home Goods, one of my favorite stores.
Yes, I told you my daughter's decorator did that.
Absolutely, and the prices are terrific.
Yes.
You can find whatever you want there. You might not find it this week, but you might find it next week.
That's the key.
Or you might find it at a different store.
Yes.
And I think part of my talent is knowing where to shop. And as an interior decorator, I get a discount in a lot of places. And I pass that discount right along to my customers. Because they're paying for my hourly service, I pass that discount along to them.
Isn't that marvelous, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I heard you say pillows. You told that woman with the outside.
Yes.
Then you can do some of your colors. I said to you, and I'll grab it for you and give it to you, this is gorgeous. I love black and white. And let's see, Rosaline, where do you want me to put it? Put it. Oh, right there. Okay. Oh, beautiful.
This is a pillow made from a scatter rug that I paid $6.99 at Building 19.
My God.
And I sewed up the sides and stuffed it, and now it is just the most adorable, cute little thing. This is going to a teenage client that I have. The parents are allowing her to do her bedroom over, and she's a 16-year-old songwriter. She's very talented, and she wants a black and white old Hollywood theme in her bedroom.
Oh.
So we chose a soft turquoise for the walls, and turquoise sheer panels for the two windows, but we're doing black and white on the bed, and I have some black and white Hollywood posters that I'm putting on the walls, and some stars because she's going to be a star someday, and that's how I'm decorating her room. So we're we've chosen the paint. We're about to do the paint, and then I'll come in at the end and put everything all together.
And you made this?
I made this pillow for her.
It is absolutely gorgeous. Will mine come out exactly the same?
Better.
Better. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. And Rosaline was oohing and ahhing about this pillow.
This
Rosaline, you want me to put this over here?
This is just another creative idea. This client had all of these Hard Rock Cafe pins on a denim jacket.
Thank you, Jeff. I didn't know you were there.
And the jacket was getting too heavy to wear, but they didn't. But they wanted a different way to showcase their collection. So actually, this pillow came from Building 19 as well, under $10. And I just pinned them on, or just took a couple little stitches to keep them all on. And of course, you can't put your head on this, but it's a decorative piece.
Oh, I think it's absolutely wonderful. You could if you turned it over.
True.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's so clever of you. Give us, you had notes and everything. You also have a runner here.
This is a table runner I made for a client.
Now, table runners are just what they say. You run it across the table.
Correct. This client...
Does it run this way or the long way?
Typically the long way.
Okay.
But I learned in decorating that it's okay to break the rules.
Okay, good.
So if it's something that you like, if it's something that fits in your home, go for it.
Yes, I like that.
And that's where an interior decorator can help you too. Sometimes someone just needs an extra set of eyes.
Yes.
Sometimes a client will have already chosen something and they just want validation that they've chosen the right color or the right object, or the right couch or whatever. And sometimes it's just a quick consult that I do for a client, and that's fine too.
My daughter in Florida she's had a few homes, and decorator was wonderful, and we were in the bathroom, decorator was checking, and Jill said to her, something is missing. Took her paintbrush, and she said, sure, something's missing. She made red slashes. Boop, boop, boop. It was gorgeous.
Right.
Oh, we're missing this color.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to take people outside of their comfort zone, but while still respecting their desires and needs and things like that. And if they say no, you suggest something different. But many times they'll say, I like that. I never would have thought of that.
I know it. Oh, I just think this. Who would have thought this is a rug? I'm going to make a pillow out of it. This is a vase. Now, on this vase, going back to that, any flowers will go. Did you pick
absolutely.
these for a certain...
Well, there are certain neutral colors that will go with anything. Of course, whites and beiges, black.
Yes.
Black is a neutral. Browns and grays are neutrals. Even nowadays, green is considered a neutral. And the way I describe that to my clients is think of Mother Nature. If you were to put a bouquet of flowers in a vase, there isn't any color blossom that doesn't go with any color green stem. So nowadays, green goes with almost anything.
Do people say to you, I want these colors and I absolutely want to stay away from green or red?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Sure. And according to the amount of light that you have in the room, or the mood that you want in the room, or if you spend daytime hours in there or nighttime hours. Like, for example, you wouldn't want a black bedroom. You wouldn't want a bright yellow bedroom maybe, because it's an energizing color. You want somebody to sleep, especially if you have a baby. You don't want a baby.
Thought of that? Right.
You don't want a bright yellow or a bright orange room for a baby. You want softer colors so that they're going to sleep quietly.
Now, it's interesting. Some companies even change their colors. Purple is supposed to be relaxing. This type of blue is supposed to be mean something, and the yellow is supposed to... Do you believe in that?
Oh, absolutely. I teach a course at Jackson Square Paint on the psychology and selection of colors.
Do you really?
And it really does have, reds are energizing, soft blues are calming. If you think about every hospital that you go into, they're pale blues and pale greens, and that actually lowers your blood pressure. If you have a red dining room, it increases your appetite and it increases your blood pressure. It gets people talking. So,
oh my!
There's a lot of psychology behind it.
Do you have a favorite color? Or you don't? I mean, what is your house like? Is it a provincial? Is it modern? Is it?
My house is arts and crafts. I have a lot of blues and beiges. Of course, I have a husband, so
yes.
I have to,
yes.
Mars and Venus comes into play.
Yes.
And leather furniture, but lace curtains if I want.
Oh, I love leather furniture.
So I know how to, balance it.
Yes. And you know how to look shop for bargains.
I do.
Building 19.
Yes.
Rug. And but you would have looked at that and said, you know, that will make a good pillow.
Yeah.
Are you always on when you're thinking of decorating? You went to school, you said, right?
I think I am always on. I'm always thinking of it, even when I'm watching television. And I'll be noticing the apartments in the background and what their kitchen cabinets look like and what they have hanging on the wall and their rugs.
When you
and
go
things
to
like
be
that.
invited to dinner or somebody's home, do you critique it?
No.
No. You just sit and enjoy.
Yeah.
You don't say, what does this woman do with this stupid pillow here?
Well, I once had a friend said, would you critique my living room? And the first thing I did was, well, have you ever considered putting a curtain in front of this door? She had like a doorway to a storage area. And she wasn't happy with my suggestion, even though she had asked me about it, so I never ever did that again.
Is it? But a wonderful idea, a curtain. Who would have thought of that? Yeah. Who needs to see the door?
Yeah, yeah.
And then she didn't take your advice, and only that was a little bit upset that
She
you
was,
gave it.
she was, so.
So best to go in and have the cocktail and eat and leave.
Yes, have a good time, enjoy their company.
Tell us a little bit about the runner. We started on that.
Okay, I had a client who wanted new dining room chair pads, and she wanted reversible ones. And her dining room is part of a large great room, so her living room.
What's a great room?
A great room is like either extra large living room or a combined living room dining room. So that's what she had in her condo in Quincy. So these were the colors on her living room furniture, and she wanted some chair cushions. And I said, would you like me to bring some samples to you? And she said, no, I trust you. You go to the fabric store and pick something out. Now, I don't usually do that. I really prefer to have someone's permission before I go ahead and spend the money and do all the work, but she trusted me. And these were the colors I came up with, and she asked for the pads to be reversible. So I had some leftover fabric.
Okay.
I had
Lift
some,
it up. Oh, okay. We were so engrossed. I apologize. My fault.
I had some leftover fabric, so I made a reversible table runner.
Oh, so she could use it on either
on both
side.
sides. And then I put some tassels on one side, and on the reverse, there's some hand-tattered lace on the other side. So completely.
And how do you had to find all these things, right?
Oh, yeah, I like to shop at Sophisticated on Morrissey Boulevard in Dorchester.
I never even heard of it.
Oh yeah, they've been around a long time. There used
Is
to
it
be a
near
store
where
in Weymouth.
Lambert's Fruit?
Yes, next door.
Next door. Is Lambert's still there?
Oh yes.
I
Yeah.
used to teach in
Yeah.
the Y, in the L Street.
Okay.
And I used to go there all the time.
Yeah. Again, a nice place to shop because you can get designer fabrics for under $10 a yard.
Is that so? Who would have thought of that? Yeah. See all the tips you're giving people?
Yeah.
So it's sophisticated?
Sophisticated, S-E-W.
S-E-W. Oh my, so sophisticated.
Right.
What a clever take on the words.
1 minute starts with pictures.
Okay, so that Russ, he's so pushy, that Russ. He is wonderful. Without him, there'd be no show. He's leaving. I'm panicking that he'll decide to live where his daughter is. But we will, you have pictures you brought?
I did. I brought some samples of work that I've done for my clients.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that?
Yeah,
I just think it's terrific. And Russ said he's going to show them.
These are some quilts that I made. This is a queen size log cabin quilt and a quilted wall hanging that is Nantucket Light.
Oh, I love that quilted wall hanging.
I've won blue ribbons for my quilts and best of show at Marshfield Fair.
What's inside them?
Batting.
Batting. Batting?
Batting.
B-A-T-T-I-N-G.
Correct.
Is it? Oh, let's see. Is there another one?
Oh, there's quite a few.
Okay.
This is just a bathroom. I'm somebody who thinks outside the box, and bathrooms don't need to be dull.
Oh,
so
I hope not.
Why not put some artwork? So this client had the mirrors kind of jutting out from the wall, so we just used it as a ledge to put some artwork up there.
I just love that. Absolutely. I have pictures in my bathroom. Why should bathrooms be dull?
Exactly.
Now, what's this?
This is a man cave that I designed, a gentleman's den, and this furniture also came from Jordan's Furniture, and they have a line.
I love it. I get everything from there. I love walking around there.
They have a line of furniture that's, I think it's called Urbanscape. So it's kind of small in scale. So this was a desk that was built high. So when you have a small room, you should take advantage of the height. So this is like a hutch desk, and this is what this client chose for his den. And
I was going to say that's great, but it's us.
And
Yes.
this is the other side of the same room, a small scale leather chair, and this gentleman runs marathons and manages marathons, so I made him a T-shirt quilt.
Oh my!
And the next one is an eclectic dining room. This is actually my home.
Oh, I love that.
So this is my 1920s bungalow, but with some contemporary style teak furniture. So by using the right colors in the right scale, you can mix and match things very well.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, what is this one?
This is a client that I had in Lexington, Massachusetts. And
You go all over.
Well, Greater Boston, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is a woman who invited me to her home in the evening. And I don't usually like to go in the evening because I like to see what the room looks like in full daylight. But she insisted.
Who would have thought of that? You too.
She insisted that I come because she wanted me to see the sunset from her living room window, and that's the color she wanted on her walls. So we chose this paint, I think it was called Lady Rose, and we planned around it. And she wanted to shop at Ethan Allen Furniture, so I took her there.
There's an Ethan Allen here near us, is there?
Well, there was out near where she lives.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, so.
Yeah.
Ethan Allen, very they're not
Traditional.
Traditional,
Right.
yes.
And this is a lady's office in a downtown Boston office area. But you know, they had the metal, the beige
love it.
the beige metal desks and the beige metal file cabinets.
Yes.
But you know, by putting up these are quilts that I made and my own photographs that I took at the Boston Flower Show. The woman loved flowers, so I put together a whole wall for her.
She must
just
have loved that.
to brighten it all up.
Oh my.
And sometimes I get commissioned to make quilts. This is a quilt I made for the Boston Marathon.
Did you really?
they
I've
did.
always wanted to run it. I've never gotten there.
They have a sister organization which is in Ome, Japan. And delegates from Japan come over to watch the Boston race every year. And
I didn't even know that.
And they bring gifts every year, and it's usually linens. So what Gloria had me do is she gave me all these linens that she had been collecting as gifts from them, and I merged it with some T-shirts and fabrics from the Boston Marathon. So I actually made 2 quilts for Ome.
Oh my, huh? Look at that.
This is next door at Jackson Square Paint in their color room. So I also do commercial clients, and I don't know if you can read the sign, but it says "Time to Decorate." And that's where I hold my classes.
Do you have classes?
I do free classes over there once a month.
Where is that?
Jackson Square Paint on Commercial
Very
Street
good.
in East Weymouth.
How do they know when you're having them? Certain times, certain
You can go
days?
onto my website,
Okay.
www.sec-interior.com.
And Russ is putting that up?
He will.
Yes.
Or
He's
the
terrific.
schedule is,
Yep.
is at the paint store too. So once a month on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, I just have a 1-hour seminar.
Are there a lot of people who come?
From time to time. Yeah, sometimes it's large, sometimes it's one-on-one. So people.
Excellent.
And I tell people to bring in their fabrics and things, and I can help
How
them with
lucky
paint,
for the one-on-one person.
paint selections. And you know, it's good for my business. It's good for the paint store.
Sure. Excellent.
This is a kitchen that I helped renovate. Instead of taking the cabinets out, we had them refaced. We chose Corian countertops, and
Oh, I love Corian.
I do too. Personally, I think granite is overrated, and
Do you really? Why do you say that?
it's almost too popular.
Okay.
You
Does
know-
Corian, and it's not as expensive, is it?
Correct. It's not as expensive.
And Corian, do you have a place you use for Corian?
Even Home Depot has good prices. You know, I mean, I can go to places just as a designer,
Yes.
and I go to a place in Norwood. Can't think of the name of it right now, but you know, depending on people's budgets,
Yes.
Home Depot is just as good. So I sewed the curtains for that client too.
Oh my.
Are there any other pictures?
I don't know. Have we used all our pictures?
Any more pictures?
There's still more, she said.
That's okay.
This is the best picture of all, you and I. See how good you look, Barbara?
Thank you. But
And-
I can help people with paint color selections. Color and light are the 2 best tools in a decorator's
You
tool
are
bag.
I'm going to use you for my Corian.
This is a gourmet kitchen that actually it's the same kitchen, it's the other side of the kitchen. So Gourmet Cook. They have a dining room that they use instead of eating in the kitchen. So we took away the kitchen table and chairs, and we went to a restaurant supply store, and we bought this stainless steel table. And
Oh, I love the stainless steel table.
it's tall because the couple are tall, and they can roll out pizza dough or pasta dough or pie dough or whatever they want to do. And it doesn't look industrial because I've added, the nice artwork on the table and on the walls.
Aren't you something, huh? And you like Korean better than you think granite is too overrated or too popular? Or?
It depends. I had a client in Hingham who asked me about should he was wanted to sell his house. He wanted to do some work first. And I said, clients in Hingham want granite. So that was my recommendation to him. But I mean, the average person who's on a budget, I think Korean is just is fine. That's what I have in my home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. This is that same client with the sunset color. This is the other side of her.
Is that so?
Her
That
great
was the
room.
one that had you come at night?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
So I sewed new window treatments for her.
Did you
She
really?
had a piano in her room. This is, I don't want to say I specialize in low budget, but I accept clients with any budget.
Good. Very good.
Right. So this was actually this was a pro bono project I did at UMass Boston, and they had a very low budget and a very plain, boring waiting room. So they gave me a little money, and I added a little color and some wall hangings and some posters, and the students really liked it there.
I think that is, aren't you clever? That was the one we saw before, isn't that the woman
Yes.
who came in the
Yeah.
dining room?
This is the
something.
same room. I helped her pick out the sconces that go above her fireplace. She had a very eclectic art collection, and I found a way to incorporate it all. Some of them I even put on an easel. People don't think about putting artwork on an easel in the corner. And it's just a perfectly fine way to display your art. And in fact, if you have lots of art, you can rotate it that way.
We have 3 minutes, Barbara. You are incredible.
Thank you.
What tips would you give people for their homes who are watching and saying, my kitchen's dull? What can they do? That's, overall would apply to anything.
Purchase the magazines, watch the home and garden televisions,
Okay.
come to my classes to get some ideas.
Oh, I think classes, and it's free, that class.
They are free. I also teach at Braintree Adult Ed.
Do you really?
I teach
Now,
it.
where is Braintree Adult Ed?
It's held at the high school in the evening.
High school?
Yeah.
Where do you teach? What days?
I taught an 8-week course in the fall on interior design basics on Wednesday nights. I didn't get enough enrollment for the January semester, but in April again I'm teaching a course on downsizing and decluttering. And that's something else that I do for clients. So
decluttering and downsizing.
Oh, I'd love to come back and do a show on that.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it next in a couple of months.
Yeah.
We would absolutely have to keep coming on.
Yeah, and I mean people who I can help with.
Downsizing and declutter.
Especially if somebody wants to stage their home for resale, or they're just moving to a smaller place, or just tired of things that they don't use anymore.
Yes.
So I can help with that too.
Aren't you? And you charge by the hour.
I charge by the hour.
And go ahead.
It's $65 an hour for decorating and consultation, and $45 an hour for my sewing.
That's not bad at all.
No, some decorators charge $200 and up.
Absolutely.
But it's Weymouth.
Yes,
and
that's true. But you go outside of Weymouth too.
But I mean, the economy's not terrific.
No. And we have to wind it up. You'll come back.
I would. Happy
June.
to.
Absolutely.
I'll be here.
It's wonderful.
Thank
you
you
so much. It's a pleasure. See
Thank you so
how
much.
easy. You are so gifted. I want that pillow. I'm just excited. Bye-bye.